Take one. Action.
Am I like good? Do I need to like?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For me, for the headphones, I can hear you pretty well.
Sound
I know what
great.
you mean about like not wanting to wear the headphones.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back
You have your headphones
to
off.
Indied Filmmakers
Sorry.
with Rachel and Logan.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Rachel's already sneak dissing and I haven't even said anything yet.
Sorry.
Yeah, I like this vibe already.
I know, right?
I'll hop on.
It's very aggressive. Like,
Yeah.
be
Right.
careful. Yeah.
Okay.
Today we have another special guest, Gigi Packer.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
My name's Gigi Packer. I'm 22 years old. I've been
From Southern Tennessee, apparently.
Oh yeah, I do this thing that I flip into weird accents sometimes.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I have been working in the film industry for like a year now, and before then I came from like a theater background, and I've dabbled in some other arts and kind of found my home in filmmaking. And now we just vibing on this train.
Love that.
You're just riding the waves now.
Yeah.
How long have you been into acting and modeling? Like, how did you even get into it as well?
Yeah. So, I was started in the theater world, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I did for university. I did a double major in theater and communications at U Ottawa.
Wow.
And yeah,
That's awesome.
eventually I was just finding it hard to find acting gigs that I was like passionate about in theater. Some of the roles that were kind of like for me, I just wasn't like super into. So I started looking at like film, and then I was like, I don't know how to really navigate this industry. Let me see about getting an agent. And so I joined an agency that happened to also be doing like modeling, and they were just like, hey, you should do both, you know, why not give it a go? And I was like, okay, like, I don't know how I feel about this whole modeling thing, but I did a couple photo shoots just for the sake of having like photos for my portfolio.
Yeah.
And when I did those, I was like, there's a little bit of creative energy here. Like, you know, you can have fun with this. And then it just kind of like unexpectedly kind of snowballed into this sort of like career for a couple years where I was like modeling like 3 times a week.
Wow.
And trying to get acting gigs, which were just like a little bit more difficult to secure. There's like less films being made than like a photographer can go out and just like be like, yo, let's make a photo shoot, right?
Sure.
So I did that more than I was expecting, but it definitely helped me kind of find connections in the film industry as well. And yeah, actually that's kind of where my start began in the film industry, because I met Tom at a photo shoot.
Really? That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Interesting. Do you still do that, or you just kind of put it in the back pocket for now?
Put it in the back pocket. I'm like open to returning to it, or like just kind of having a photo shoot here or there for the fun of it, but definitely not like a career I'm trying to pursue or anything. It never was. And I think what I realized was that the part I enjoyed most about it was the creative, like, directing process of, like, thinking of, like, a cool concept and then putting together all the moving parts. And I was like, wait, that can translate over to other arts, too, that I am more passionate about. So,
That's awesome.
It was like the storytelling of it. Almost,
yeah,
if
exactly.
That makes sense.
It was like making like producing a feeling from the photos, right? Like making art. It wasn't about like being a model and like.
Look at me, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But I asked that because I remember like a few weeks ago now, you posted like some old photos that you had just like sitting in the bank, and there was like a theme to it,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
a message there.
Totally.
You know
It was
what I mean? So makes sense.
that theme actually was like probably one of my favorite ones that I was a part of. It was drowning in my to-do list, and it was like this girl just like in this mess of a room with like sticky notes all behind her with like a billion messages, and I was just like so connected to that concept.
Don't forget the snorkel.
And the snorkel, yeah. Yeah, and that was exactly what I loved about like modeling, was doing those kinds of photo shoots where there was like a message behind it that I really supported. So yeah.
Awesome. Because my next question was going to be, what was your favorite photo shoot and why? Because you've done a lot of really cool ones and a lot of creative ones. I was looking through them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
they're really cool.
Yeah. There's like, I have favorite ones for different reasons. Like ones that I had like a great time on set versus ones that I like loved the outcome of it, like the literal final images. But I think like overall, one of my favorites was one that I kind of creative directed myself. I made myself a lava lamp.
Oh, cool.
Like I turned
You
myself
were the
into a
lava
lava.
lamp. Okay.
Yeah, which is, like I said, the concept is just so out there, and it was very much focused on like making art that provoked like a feeling. And I got super hands-on, like making a set piece that I could like stand in, and just thinking about like all the different makeup elements and the hair and everything, the outfit. And it was just like a lot of moving parts that I got to be like super creative with. So, yeah.
What was the emotion you want to convey being a lava lamp?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it wasn't like so much a direct emotion. I just wanted it to be like striking, like an image that like you would not expect. Sometimes when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I come across like just like funky ideas that I'm like, wow, like humans are crazy. You know, like we just have minds that can explore things outside of our reality, you know, not to be so meta, but
It's true. That's
cool.
That's
and I was
true.
like, nobody's gonna expect a human as a lava lamp. So
No, I sure wouldn't.
yeah,
That's cool. I like that.
that was the vibe.
Nice.
Next question is, how did you first get involved in the, like, on the crew side of filmmaking? I was curious about that.
Yeah. So where was the beginning? It's kind of hard to think that far back, even though it was only like a year ago. But like so much has happened since then, you know.
Yeah, a lot has happened. Yeah.
That's true.
Well, as I mentioned, I did some photo shoots that I met some filmmakers. But then also coming from an acting perspective, like, I think my first job working behind the scenes was on the second film in a series where I was an actor on the first film. And I reached out to them afterwards and I was like, hey, I see you're doing like a second film. My character died off in the first one.
Spoiler alert.
So I knew, yeah. That one might not ever see the light of day, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But yeah,
But you knew everyone.
Yeah,
I
I
worked
knew
on it.
everyone, and like I knew that I wasn't going to be invited back as an actor, so I was like, let me just be involved and like see what it's like on the other side of things. And specifically with my theater background, I grew up acting, and that was like what I thought my dream job was always going to be, and it still is. But when I went to university, I thought it was going to be more centered around acting for theater, and it ended up being a lot more on the production side of it than I was expecting,
Okay.
which was kind of a side, what's the word? A throw at the side.
A slap in the face?
Curveball, there we go.
A throw at the side curveball.
It was a curveball, getting to experience all like the production side of theater that I didn't think I was going to be so into. And since I ended up really enjoying that, when I came into like the film world, I was like, let me explore the backside of things as well. And it was the same thing. I was just as passionate about it, and it was just as exhilarating.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Was it hard going from stage to screen? Or was like the transition kind of...
I think I've always been more of a screen actor, like naturally. I prefer that kind of more like closely knit kind of acting where it's minute changes in your emotions to present instead of like having like this
being
big
grand and
yeah.
expressive and yeah.
I think like me as a person too, like I am a bit more kind of I'm extroverted, but like I'm kind of small, like in all my words and actions and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess I'm not surprised that like when it comes to film or when it comes to acting, I prefer to be in that state as well.
How did you get into producing and directing?
So I literally did that one gig where I was a PA for that film that was going into the second film.
Yeah.
And after I experienced that, I was like, okay, I love filmmaking, like the whole behind the scenes process of it. And literally right after that, I was like, I'm gonna make my own.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which film was that you made?
That was Road Trip.
Road trip.
Oh, that was Road Trip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My single first
was
only.
the PA job?
The PA job was like a good 2.5 years ago. And it took me a while before I like actually made the film, but that was my next.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I acted in the meantime on like some other projects, one of which was with Tom Peters, shout out. And on that project of his, like he was directing, producing, whatever. I just really like vibed with him on set, and having him as the director, I was like, okay, so this guy knows what he's doing, right? So when it came time for me to make my own, I was like, let me go ask some questions, figure out how this all works, you know?
Yeah.
And after I had a couple conversations with him about how to do it, I was like, maybe you should just produce this with me if you're down.
Yeah.
And that's
Was this
how
pre
that
or
partnership.
post Monkey Biz?
That was long before.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then after we made that film, it was like a good 3 months until Monkeybuziness got united.
Nice.
I thought Road Trip was after.
No. It just took a really
it took
long
a long
time
time
for
to
us to
come out.
release it. Yeah.
Interesting.
So when was it filmed?
It was
it-
last summer,
was
but
it-
like the beginning.
Okay, like last May or last
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool. Huh. Where'd you find? Did you know those two actors before?
Yeah,
Those two guys were great.
They were
Shout
great.
out to
really good.
I got so lucky with my casting and my crew. Like for that to be my first kind of team around me, I don't think I even truly realized it then because I just didn't know how things worked. But like, I mean, I was always grateful. But like, especially now, I'm like, wow, like I got so
For a
lucky.
first film. as
Yeah.
Yeah,
well.
with John.
With John, with Charles, with like
Shout
literally
out
every
to
single one of them.
Charles,
Super
man.
grateful for.
Charles, yeah.
Charles is my
We
goat.
love Charles.
I will forever feel like indebted to everybody involved in that project because
Right.
Aw.
I feel so privileged to have had that opportunity,
Oh,
especially so early on in my journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Road Trip, like what was your experience? Like that was your directorial debut. Like what was your experience? Yeah. Any challenges?
Tons.
Yeah, especially with going to each restaurant. Damn.
Yeah.
Like logistically, it seemed very confusing, or not confusing, but
There was a lot of moving
parts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think like almost every step of the way there were challenges, but we partially were lucky and like worked hard to navigate around them. And in the end, nothing had to be changed in my concept to accommodate these things. It was just like we wanted to make it a 3-day shoot, and then it ended up being like a 5.5-day shoot.
Okay.
And like we tried to secure some locations well in advance, but they were just really hard. Like the gas station. I think because it was my first project, I didn't know what was going to be like difficult, right? And so I dreamed big in a sense without even realizing it. And almost because I didn't know how things worked, I just like was able to make workarounds happen because I didn't know what the standard was. You know, I didn't limit myself ahead of time.
Okay.
And nowadays I'm like trying to keep that mentality that I had on my first project for all these next ones, because I don't want to think in advance like, oh, it's going to be hard to get a gas station, so we won't write that in the script, or like we'll just change it or something like that. Like I want to just dream big and then make it work. You know?
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's how you have to do it, I think. I mean, go big or go home.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Nowadays, looking at the fact that we wanted to do, even though it was only supposed to be supposedly an hour of filming in each restaurant, we wanted to do like 6 locations, like different businesses in one day, which, I mean, like nowadays, logistically, I would never like be like, yeah, that's going to work. But
But at the time, you didn't know.
yeah, at the time I didn't know, and we made it work somehow. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think we got lucky in some ways for sure. Like the gas station, the day of, I think it was like 3 hours before we secured it. Because, we were driving around town, literally just, like, stopping at a gas station, walking in. I remember, like, giving my phone number to, like, 3 different people at the desk, being like, please call your supervisor and let me know if we can film here in a couple hours.
Interesting.
Yeah. And, I mean, surprisingly, somebody came through in the end. And
That's awesome.
yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
They had a soft spot in their heart for art. That
I
gas
guess
station
so.
employee, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask how like securing the restaurants went and like being accommodated to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like what was your approach to asking those people or the businesses?
Yeah. Our approach was like walk in, say, hey, where's your manager? We'd like to speak with them. And sometimes they'd be like,
It's a Karen move.
yeah, especially seeing like 2 or 3 like very young folks coming in and being like, where's your manager?
Okay, fair.
And once we met them, we were like, hey, give them the whole spiel, kind of acted it up a little bit. Like, we're running this film, so like indie project, we're going to feature your restaurant. You know, you start with your like compliments, being like, you've got a beautiful space here, you know. I've eaten here a few times. I love the food, that sort of thing.
Sales pitch. Almost.
Yeah, for sure. It's totally a sales pitch. And then you hit them with the whole, like, you can keep your business open. Because, I mean, for our type of shots that we were looking for, they could. And, you know, just let us come film in here and we'll buy some food. That's it.
Cool.
Like, we didn't even have to pay for the locations, which is...
Wow, I didn't know that.
No, yeah. I mean, I didn't know how this all worked, right? So I was like, why would we pay? But yeah, looking back, it's like, how did that happen? I don't know.
That's awesome.
Because you dreamed big.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And, well, this was like one of my biggest lessons learned.
Mm-hmm.
Teams and like truly caring about who is helping you on the project and making sure to make that known to everybody, right? Like appreciating people. Because that's what's going to make everything come together. You can't do this alone. Mm-hmm. My film wouldn't have happened if it was just me and Tom, for example.
Yeah.
Like, so making sure to give shout outs to all those restaurants at the end, like at our premiere and like in our credits and everything, like they were integral parts of that piece just as much as like anybody else was, you know, like it wouldn't, I think just appreciating every single person involved in making it happen as if without them, it wouldn't work is really important. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
They deserve the recognition.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like a help me help you, like, because, you know, at the premiere, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, their names are up on the screen. They see them go into the building and like it's
Totally.
I hate the word exposure in terms of like being an artist, but that's it's a little different though.
It is different.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just,
like exposure to me kind of gives off this vibe of like, oh, we're bigger than you and we're giving you a platform versus like appreciating your team members is about being like, we are all
same
together
level.
on this, you know? Yeah. This is your film just as much as it is mine because we're both making this happen, you know?
No one's like using one another.
No. Yeah, well, hope nobody feels that way. Yeah. That's kind of the whole point of like, checking in with everybody throughout the process and, you know, feeding them well. And,
did you guys eat the restaurant food for like your lunches?
Oh man, our actors, they ate so well. We had lobster, we had shrimp, we had like quesadilla, huge thing, like, and then whatever else was left, like
what about the
whole
crew?
Crew too, yeah.
Crew ate?
They were
Oh,
eating
yeah.
that same food too.
They probably won't eat better on a set ever again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I had some of it too.
What was your favorite part?
Nice. Favorite part of the food? Or favorite part of the
favorite part of the food? I'm like off tangent now.
No, I want to know about the food too.
I feel like we're all hungry here. That's
What was the best meal you ate? Yeah, true.
Yeah. That film made a lot of people hungry.
Yeah, oh, dude, I was sitting
It
there in
did.
the
I was
theater
like,
bro.
I could go for.
But Uber Eats this to the freaking seat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Favorite part? Wait, of the food? Or
Of the food.
It could be both.
We can do both. I just want to know what your favorite food was.
I'm kind of a picky eater, so I think I had like, there were chicken wings on set at one point.
Yum.
At one of the locations, we had some chicken wings. It was really good.
Nice.
And favorite part of like the process, meeting the people, because that's like, even past that production, I'm still feeling that positive energy of just being part of this community now.
Yeah. And you see those people around all the time.
Oh, totally, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I hope to work with every single one of them again.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
have since, yeah.
That's great.
Cool. And then you have that like story you can all tell each other about, and like you're all there for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah.
Shared experience.
There's definitely things now that like I would do differently about the process. Like I just want to make sure on future productions that there's a little bit more time for us to just like have a good time on set.
Yeah.
I think indie filmmaking, you know, at the core of it is about community.
Yeah.
And I remember some of the days walking away being like, damn, I didn't even really like talk to people, you know? I was just so zoned in, so like doing I mean, I'm sure like it just felt that way even more so for myself. Like as director, you're like so zoned in and you don't really know how you're appearing outwardly because you're focused on the task at hand, right? But sometimes I would feel like, dang, did I make it fun, you know?
Yeah. Did everyone else have I see what you mean.
So in future productions, I want to like schedule in just a little extra time just so that we can all, you know, have a good laugh and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Who is that woman that spoke at not the career fair, the big event we went to with all your classmates, who had the film premiering? Why can't I remember her name? The one Ben talked to. But anyway,
I forget her. Jamie?
No, it was
Because I know he
dark
talked to
side.
Jamie for a while.
Anyway, she basically said something very similar in terms of like she had a film that premiered at that event, but she like blocked off, I think it was like 45 minutes or an hour before and after, I think, of the production. Like crew call would happen, and then it was like 45 minutes where they just like talk
Oh, that's
and
great.
like do like a big like team huddle. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then she was saying it made the whole production just flow so much easier. Like those 45 minutes would be made up just because everyone's on the same page. Any concern.
Totally, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's so important to remember that you're, like you said, a family. It's true. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Since mine was shot so long ago, there's been a few productions with Themonkeybuziness since, right? And I feel like it's just so important that with each production, we're like looking back on them afterwards and thinking, how can we just make this a better experience for everyone, right? We started doing this kind of survey, which we're trying to do a little bit more of after a production, getting everybody's like, you know, honest opinions on how we can improve, how they felt about the production, that sort of thing. Because exactly that, like, we want everybody to feel valued and feel like they're family. And yeah.
How do you go about finding crew? Cast and crew.
Okay. I'm less so involved on the crew side of thing, like crewing up. Like, I would say Chris is more that vibe because he works on a lot of sets with lots of people. I do obviously like have connections that I made through modeling, through just like going to community events. Like I met you guys at Digi 60, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's people you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your crew.
Literally. Yeah. If you're just starting out and you don't know anybody who's like in the film industry, you just ask your friends, like even if they're not really like filmmakers, they can be, you know? But yeah, every single time I meet somebody, I take a mental note of like who they are, what they're trying to do. And usually like I keep a list we keep a list of like, what are people interested in? How can we try and get them on board in the future? But for cast, that's definitely more kind of what I'm passionate about and what I tend to be involved in. Coming from the actor's perspective, I love casting because it's like so fun to be on the other side of it.
I remember you said it's like your favorite part.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts for
tapes and
sure.
stuff.
Because I think like your casting choice affects so much about how your production runs. Not just what the final product looks like, but how the energy is on set too. If you have somebody who just can't work alongside your crew in the same way, yeah, it affects every other part of how the production runs, right?
That's true.
So my process for that is kind of like make a cool casting call, because visually in this day and age, social media, like you need something a bit striking. You need to make sure people know what they're looking at as soon as they look at it.
Yeah.
So getting in Photoshop, I love that aspect of it too. And then spreading that thing around like crazy. Sending it to agencies, sending it to all the actors you already know, posting on Facebook groups, Instagram stories, running that shit up.
Which also builds like hype for the project. You know what I mean? Wait, what'd you say?
I booped myself for
okay.
we're saying a bad word.
That's fine. We spar on here.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was saying it also builds hype for the project. You know, I've seen casting calls that like I don't apply to, but I'm like, no, I'm interested in what they're making.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I
totally.
mean?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. Shout out Gabe from Dark Trident.
Yeah.
He makes like incredible like graphics and stuff like that for casting and whatnot. And we've just been working on that recently. And he made like a video like coming soon type of post for the project. And I just think that's exactly what in this day and age we need to be in the know of what's coming.
It's like its own. Like you have your teaser, and you have your poster, and you have your film, and you have your trailer. But then even the stuff that the public doesn't see should fit the vibe, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be like text on a fucking tweet. You know what I mean?
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next question is one you've asked before, so I kind of want you to ask it if you want.
Logan asked me. Oh, okay. Was there a specific moment in your film career so far that made you realize or notice that your hard work was paying off?
Mic drop.
Boom. Let me just walk out right now. I guess what I meant when I asked that the first time was like, when you look back, did you see a thing that kind of shifted you and you're like, wait, this is like I can do this, it's feasible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is not just like a hobby or a dream anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you're when you started on the path.
Okay.
Asked Avery that, right? Was it Avery?
Avery and I think Benji.
I think I asked Ben.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel like it hasn't been exact moments where it like hits me. It's kind of like after the fact, I'll just be thinking, like laying in bed or like being on the couch eating my dinner and being like, oh yeah. But I guess moments that I reflect on as being like, oh, that was cool. The road trip premiere, like the event itself, like I did not expect to have that many people in attendance. Like, I really thought it was going to be like my friends, my family, and that's about it. So just seeing like people be interested in what we're doing here is like, I don't know. I'm still kind of shocked by that. And it definitely is one of the big motivators of like, wow, okay, so if that was like my first one and like we're just starting out on this journey. I'm 22 years old. Like we have so many years to keep perfecting this craft and keep going on this journey. And if like I'm already proud of that one first thing, I'm really excited and motivated for what's to come, right?
I like that, yeah.
And I just want to keep getting better. And
It's
bigger.
only up from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds a little cliche, but like
No, it's
that's
true.
literally how it feels for
It's
sure.
true.
Yeah.
And then I think kind of one of the other things that on a daily basis within film, like, bolsters my motivation is working in, like, the film industry with, you know, bigger productions.
Yeah.
Like, getting paid to do things I like is crazy to me. And it makes it feel a little bit more of, like, a tangible reality to me to dream of, like, making my own films in the future. So, like, working at Fireside, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you're good.
And just kind of building more consistency and being hired in roles on set has been a motivating factor for sure, and makes me think, like, okay, this can be long term.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Best on-set experience?
so many good ones. I literally don't think I've had a single bad on-set experience where, like, I've remembered it past the day of, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think the first ones that come to mind are two.
Okay.
Waiting for Love. We had, like, this cottage that we were staying at, and after filming, it was just, like, hanging out with the coolest people, and yeah, and then working again the next day with them, just, like, that was so
Chris
fun.
said the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair. And it was kind of like that first project where Monkey Business, like me, Tom, Chris, and Shai, were kind of aware that something might be coming up soon for us all, like partnering. And so vibing so well with Chris and with Tom on that set made me so excited for, like, what was to come within our partnership. So there was definitely this just, like, radiant energy throughout the process. And then second was the 48-hour challenge with y'all.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god.
Oh, totally.
That's
Hell yeah.
awesome. I did not expect that.
No, like, totally. I think
That was a blast.
I know, I had so much fun.
sometimes the most kind of run and gun projects, like, you know, where it's just you need your positive energy with your pals to get it done, because it's like, if you don't have the positive energy, why the heck is anybody here doing it anyway, you know? So like and I've met so many people that I had been like following along on Instagram and like seeing their work and being inspired by. I met so many people like that on that set. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I wanted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
So-
Crew was
It was
10 out of 10.
good. Yeah. It was so much fun.
It was, yeah. It felt like, well, I guess for us, because we were like there the whole weekend.
Yeah. I felt like I got so much closer to you and Avery from the whole experience.
Absolutely,
and then
yeah.
everybody else that one day. To me personally, it did not, was it 12 hours?
I think it was like 11.
11?
11 and
It
a
did
bit, 11
not
and a
even
bit.
feel like 8.
yeah. Oh,
did.
I know it
no,
was chilly. I'm
rushed
sorry.
by.
I know it was chilly. But other than that, it flew by.
I
did.
had to leave a little bit early.
Yes.
Forget where I was going.
You're going
On
to work, I think.
I was going to work.
Grinding, yeah.
And I just remember driving away and being like, I wish I could stay.
Oh, that's all I wanted. So
Oh,
I'm
no,
so glad you
yeah.
felt that way.
yeah. It was great.
And it's so fun to see the finished project now.
Yeah.
And be like, how that came to be in the span of 2 days.
Which is
Literally.
crazy,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
And that is so inspiring to see, like, in one weekend, you can make a short film.
Yeah.
As long as you've got your
Literally.
team, right?
Yeah.
The team is the most valuable, the most important part, right? So it's inspiring because, like, you never want to think small for future projects, because you're like, well, in 48 hours you can make this. So what can you make with months of preparation? You know?
Yeah.
It's really the community. Like, there was so much, like, passion in that room. You know what
There
I mean?
was.
Everyone was, like, locked in.
Yes,
Everyone
everyone was
was there.
vibing too.
Yeah,
Which it was a
exactly.
good balance. Like I didn't feel stressed at all.
I mean, we were tired, but
Oh yeah.
that's
It
about
didn't
it.
hit me though till when I got home. I was like, oh
Melted?
no.
Just like, "Whoa."
I'm gonna get up and help edit and like submit all the forms.
Yeah.
But I just like I can't let anybody down,
I
and
feel-
we've got this.
I feel like you know you're in the right place doing something right when you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
The adrenaline's just at a high and just
Yeah.
keep going.
Like
Yeah.
6 hours of sleep in 48 hours.
Yeah, like total the whole weekend.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That's the thing I love about filmmaking, is it just gives me this like crazy amount of energy and like this like bodily feeling I like literally don't experience in anything else I do in life. somebody called me out on it recently, and I was like, actually, that's fair. We were just like stepping outside to get some air, and it was late at night, so it was kind of chilly. And after like 20 minutes, I was like, I need to go inside. And he was like, dude, you spent like 12 hours standing in wet boots in like minus 40 degree weather, and you didn't complain at all. Like, why are you complaining after 20 minutes with like a jacket on? And I was like, you're so right. This is exactly the difference between feeling like excited and passionate on a film set and just like navigating the rest of life.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
You gotta be careful too, though, because mine is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was not a great film day, but
yeah. I remember I did a music video. That was First Day Seats. Still not out yet,
the overnight one.
The overnight one.
Oh my god, in the cold. I felt
we started at 5 or 6 p.m. No, yeah, 5 or 6 p.m. And I ended up pulling like an all-nighter, like just the whole night into the next day. We were still shooting at 5 in the morning, and I just like ran with it. But I was tired, but I was like you said, having fun. Like, we get this day, it was freezing. Like we like had to like switch into cars because it was so cold. But then like, as soon as we were done, it just hit me like a truck.
Yeah.
And then I low-key almost blew a red light, but it's fine.
It's fine.
And again, it's not just like your own energy and passion feeding into you getting through that day. It's the community, right? You have this feeling of like, we're all in this together. If everybody else is on set with me right now, why? Like, you know, like you feed off of that energy.
That's true. You're all in the mud together.
Yeah.
Like, look to your right. Like, Avery said that too. Yes. Like, you look to your right and your homie's there, like, at the same position as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not alone.
That's true.
And I'm competitive, so sometimes it's kind of like, I can last longer.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, I got 5 more hours in me.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel you, yeah.
What inspires you on a day-to-day basis?
Like everything.
Nice.
Like, I think what I'm most inspired by is thinking big about the little things in life. Like, I have this thing where I think meta of everything. Like, am I real? Like, and like, what is the purpose of us feeding ourselves or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, and so, you know, it sounds kind of like boring to be like everything inspires me, but truly, like, I like trying to find inspiration in unsuspected places. Like, I was driving the other day and I saw lightning in the sky, and I was like, wow, what is the meaning of lightning?
Told me about that. And then you like created a story out of it.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah, everything.
Logan, do you have any questions? Because I got
That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
I got 3 more.
Okay.
Like, I know we have like a recurring. I really like the.
Yeah, we can ask those ones again.
Okay. Top 3 films or top 3 films like right now, like either of all time or right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go of all time, but I haven't seen these movies in a minute. So I'm kind of going off of like the lingering feeling of having watched them. Lucy with Scarlett Johansson, and I think that's her. Yeah. It's a very like big picture on life and mind fuck type of movie. Which is exactly my type of movie. I love like how you walk out of watching something like that and you're like,
you start questioning.
Yeah. So I always list that one because it's like the epitome of the type of movies I like.
Yeah.
I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay.
I just think it's like creative bash of like everything, and somehow it gets pulled off. So
I love that. Also cinematographically, like all the transitions and stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I don't have an exact example, but
and like the like scribbles on the screen, or VFX or whatever. Yeah, super inspiring movie. I definitely, when I'm dreaming of my own future sci-fi or like kind of bigger than reality type of films, I pull a lot of inspiration from Scott Pilgrim.
Shot in Toronto too.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
You know that?
I did not know that.
There's a scene you can see the CN Tower in the background.
No way.
Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah. I don't know if all of it was shot in Toronto, but
that's crazy.
like it also takes place in Toronto in the movie.
Damn.
I did not realize
the
that.
characters are in Toronto.
Definitely, like, it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Everything does feel like Toronto in that.
In a weird way, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his house is like Scarborough area. I don't know. if you
Even
guys
like
have
the
been-
characters, like I can imagine them living in Toronto.
Yeah. They're just missing the accent.
Yeah.
You know, like the Toronto accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
And a third one. Okay, this is a curveball. Eurovision Song Contest with Will Ferrell.
Oh my.
Don't know
It's a
what-
comedy. It's a parody of this. Have you ever heard of Eurovision?
Yes.
Okay. It's like all the European countries compete against each other
Yeah.
with one song.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's honestly kind of like comedic to hear the submissions and like what people are listening to over there. So I think it was just a spot on parody of that subject matter. And Will Ferrell, I really like him as an actor. I find his content usually really funny. And that particular film was just, I don't know, it just spoke to me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool. My mom hates Will Ferrell.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's kind of fair. I have this thing
I think he's
against
great.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Why?
I just do
You didn't
not
like Click?
his... Click?
Have you seen Click?
No, I haven't. Probably because anytime I see it's an Adam Sandler movie, I'm like,
It's awful. I'm just
okay.
joking. It sucks.
Okay, good.
you seen
Yeah.
Uncut Gems?
I don't think so. I've seen him in like,
okay.
what's the one where it's a bunch of parents going to like a cottage. They have their kids or whatever.
I don't know what it's called, but I've seen
Is
it.
it Grown Ups?
I think that's the
I
one.
think it's Grown
I've
Ups.
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen like his movies from that kind of era where like there's a lot of other actors that I was interested in also seeing. And after watching like him in those productions and then a couple of his own, I was just like, I don't know. I just don't get his kind of humor.
Also, as an actor for you,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
He's a very one-tone type of actor, which I just cannot usually respect.
You
Like
should.
The Rock.
Yes.
The Rock
Sorry.
plays himself in every
Yeah.
movie he's in. You should see
Which is
Uncut
more
Gems.
acceptable to me.
Okay.
The Rock?
Like
Oh,
more
or just
acceptable to
being
play
yourself.
yourself
Okay.
in a film. Like if you get cast because you're like what the director envisions for the character anyway, like that's kind of valid.
Yeah.
But if you're like supposed to be playing different characters, but you can always only do it in one way, I'm kind of like,
Boo.
You got to bring
Yeah.
other things to the table.
sorry, Adam Sandler fans.
Sorry, guys.
You should see Uncut Gems though,
Okay.
because it's I don't even know how to explain it. It's like
makes you
really anxiety.
I felt anxious and on edge the entire film. I don't know how they
Oh.
did it. I do not know how they did it. And the
Oh.
ending, I mean, I guess could be predictable to some, but to me, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was not expecting
I only
that
watched it
from-
last year, so.
Huh. I might actually watch that because like the way you're reacting to it.
It's,
I vibe
it's,
with.
it's just hard to not see him as his like goofy roles in
Okay.
that movie.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
But he doesn't play it like.
No,
No, he's
like
serious.
that's the thing, which is
Mafia
weird.
kind of.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
crime.
keeps updated.
But like where I was coming from with that was like I get how people don't like certain comedy actors, and I would understand how some people don't like Will Ferrell. Yeah, because he does also kind of have like his he is himself a lot of the time. And if you just don't vibe with that kind of humor, like I guess that's just
That's just who he is. You just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite actor?
not really.
No?
I'm actually really bad, and I've been trying to fix this because I'm hoping for a career in the film industry. Really bad with knowing like actors' names, movie names, directors.
Don't
like,
worry, me too.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I feel like that's normal. There's so many. There's so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I just feel like super un-in tune. Like pop culture wise with movies, like I feel like I need to work on that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Okay. Good.
Just start playing trivia by yourself and just
Be like,
you know what I mean? Pop culture trivia.
Yeah.
Though. I gotta catch up on like a lot of the classics too. Like I haven't
too.
watched like all the Star Wars. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings, like that kind of
Me
stuff.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got
The
a lot of
Godfather.
Yeah. I watched part of it. I wasn't a fan though. Sorry.
Oh.
Did it like The Godfather? Well, the second and
It's
third
a
are
3-hour
ended.
movie, right?
The first,
I remember being
it's up there. I
long.
don't remember.
There's, oh my god, like an ever-growing list of movies I need to watch. And that's what I love. I love the fact that I'm overwhelmed with content that I want to consume.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
But there's never enough time to watch it all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh, TV shows. Is there anything on your list?
Of what to watch? There definitely is. But not off the top of my head. I can't think of the names of things.
Have you watched Severance?
Oh, I would like to watch Severance.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either.
It's funny you mentioned that. I just finished it like yesterday.
Dang.
on my bus. No, 2 days ago. On my bus home.
Really?
Yeah, I finished it. Oh my god. It's so good.
Okay, well,
It's
there's
so
one.
good.
I feel like a lot of people expect when you say that you work in the film industry or that like you're passionate about filmmaking that you're like watching movies like 24/7.
Yeah, right?
I like you don't have time. Who has the time when you're making
I'd
the
be
movies?
making
How
the
do you-
movies.
Yeah,
I can't watch them.
exactly. Like I make
so
time
true.
for like a show like maybe once every couple days.
Yeah.
And it's usually like Love on the Spectrum or something like
Oh
that.
my! Don't even get me started. I love that show.
It's cute, bro.
I love that show. The most recent season was really good.
I just want like
true.
something that's like light and like I don't have to put my brain on to consume and it's like usually I'm eating dinner while I'm watching or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna sit down and like watch a movie, it's gonna be with other people. Like I'm gonna make it a social thing as well.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh, I was reading the wrong one.
Okay.
Never mind, that's my fault. I just can't read.
Life.
Life inspired. Right? Life. What do you want to be known for?
Because I don't know our answer, and I'm curious.
I don't think about this often. I don't know. I guess the goal isn't to be known. But my goal within my art that I want to produce and put out there, whether it reflects on me to be known as, I don't care, but is that people see the content and something clicks in their mind that hasn't clicked before. Like I want them to think and like feel something they've never thought or felt before.
Okay.
And if I can like introduce a new perspective about something to someone, I will feel like I have won at life.
Like change their life in a positive way.
Yeah. Or
Or
in any way.
or ruin someone's life.
Like, yeah.
Make a really dark movie.
If there's a balance, if I affect somebody good, if I affect somebody bad, it's true. No. I think like what I want to make with my movies is something that now how do I phrase this?
It's a tough question, eh?
It is
It
a
is.
very tough question.
Well, the kind of movies that I want to make are like really mind-bending meta, because that's what I'm just like super interested in as concepts. Like something kind of like Inception or there's been like a billion versions of this where somebody takes a pill and then they like see life differently or like they become like, I don't know. Like I think those kinds of movies are what has shaped my perception of life in general. And I would love to introduce those kinds of theories and subject matters to people who might not find that subject matter like consumable or like I want that to be accessible is the word. I want that kind of concept, that kind of focus on your perception of life to be at the forefront of my movies and accessible to people.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen Eternal Sunshine of the
Yes.
Spotless Mind?
Oh,
A while ago.
That is interesting.
Definitely that kind of vibe. Yeah.
That's an
right?
interesting one,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Movies like that are the ones where they leave something behind in you the best
Yes.
because everyone takes them a completely different way.
That's exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I would love to make a movie like that someday. Another example. Oh, what's the name of it? No, it's not gonna come to me, but I'll tell you guys later. But yeah, like I have such a man. My words are leaving me now.
No, it's
That's okay. You're doing great.
I think it's important to look beyond what you experience in your everyday life to help shape how you react in everyday life, right? Like you need to think about
Deep.
life in general, how you are in everybody else's lives, like what your purpose is, that sort of thing. I think you do have to spend time, whether you spend time or just like let it kind of happen, just as long as that's like happening, it's important. And I think all kinds of arts are like the keys to unlocking that kind of conversation in your dialogue.
I was just about to ask, like, how do people that aren't there yet go about changing their mindset? And it's literally just like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even music too.
Yeah. Or like a painting can depict somebody of a completely different walk of life of yourself, for example. And then it'll get you thinking like, wow, like we're all different. And like, I wonder what that person's life is like. And then you start thinking more about yourself and your position in life. And like, I think art, because it can say a million words, right? That's the phrase, right?
Yeah.
Is like the only way that people can be inspired to think bigger of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. When you said like, you look at someone and it's different, and you like put themselves in their shoes. On the flip side of that, you can also relate to art that is. Have you ever listened to a song or watched something that like lines up with something that happened to you in your own life almost perfectly? Yeah. And this person, like, I don't know, it could be like a music artist, is singing about literally your exact experience.
Yeah.
And it's like universal and like, tell me we're literally not connected, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I like art that I don't relate to, things that I haven't gone through, and putting myself in someone else's experience, but also knowing that you're not alone with your own.
A lot of people talk about making relatable content, making relatable characters to kind of reel in your audience, right? But I think it's more than just about like, you know, capturing your audience and marketing it and whatever. It's really like, that is where people pull a message away from the story, right? And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's when you stop treating it like a business and like the art that it is.
Yeah. Repetitive question, but any future projects and stuff you're looking forward to?
Future projects
that you're allowed to
Is
bring
you got
up?
lined up for the year or something? It's still only March, April?
Yeah, I have two that I'll mention, I guess. One is like a micro short, which you guys are both going to be involved in.
Yes.
Which I'm really excited about because it's got a very like important message that we're trying to bring along with it. And I'm just really happy to be making film that is focusing on like important topics and that sort of thing. And then another one that I'm looking forward to is something where we're going to start playing with a bit of a bigger budget, which is just like exciting in its own way because you have a lot more opportunity to focus on the art when you don't have to worry about navigating the budget, right?
True.
Right.
So yeah, those two, and I'm just really excited for where those projects will then take me in future years as well.
And who you'll meet on them, and who you'll meet on them.
Who I'll meet on them too, for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Having a bigger budget is like, yeah, there's less stuff you have to focus on, but at the same time, you have all this like bigger, I don't know how much it is, but like bigger lump sum of money. Is that not more stressful? Because now you have to distribute that properly and efficiently. You know what I mean?
it's really easy to spend money.
really
So,
easy to.
like, honestly, it's, and when you're already, it's harder to make a budget when you have less to spend, right? So it's actually like easier working with more money because it's like, now you don't have to think of how to make one piece of equipment or something, or one thing that you're paying for work for all these different things, or like, yeah, there's just
You're
lots
not spread
less.
as thin.
Pardon?
You're not spread as thin, I guess.
Yeah, you're not spread as thin. Like, you just have a lot more opportunity to get other parts of the job done when you're not trying to navigate that aspect. Yeah, it is a little daunting because you don't want to like lose track of how much you're spending, and like you don't want to waste the opportunity, right?
Right.
But I think I'm not focused on, like, I'm not feeling overwhelmed by it. Okay, final words.
What are your last words?
Yeah.
Oh, last word.
No, I'm just kidding. You don't
Love
leave
you,
this
mama.
room.
No.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Probably would be my last word.
Same.
too.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I'm getting too in my head now thinking about that. But
Oh yeah. We go there.
what are my last words in terms of like this whole interview? I would say community at the forefront of indie filmmaking. And I just want to see everybody continue to feel appreciated in what they're doing, even no matter how big or small your production is. Like, you are making art. Feel proud, pat each other on the back, like, and uplift each other. I think it can be really easy for art spaces to begin to feel competitive and whatnot, because just it's hard to I don't actually think it's hard to share opportunity, but like sometimes people can feel like that, right? And I hope everybody at home watching this is gonna just have a little smile, thinking like you're appreciated, people are out there to support you, and the film community is better with you in it. And make sure to say congrats to everybody around you who's trying hard and making art, you know?
It's true.
I love that.
It's true. Yeah.
Amen.
And thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything from you, Rachel?
No, thank you for tuning in. Can't wait for the next.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I loved it.
Adios.
Yeah. Ciao.
Cut. Get out of it, okay?